Morning, folks. Happy Monday. A few things to get to today. So, as of today, we actually had to do some testing over the weekend. And unfortunately, as of today, we have 21 total skilled nursing residents that have tested positive for the virus. And that's 7 more than you heard me talk about here on Friday. The challenge for us in our nursing home is that it's small. And even though the residents all have single rooms, which is wonderful, and it's a wonderful environmental care setting, the size and the fact that it's on one floor presents a lot of challenges from an infectious disease standpoint. So we're going to work through that process, and I'll update you as I go. But right now we stand at 21. I can tell you that over the last 3+ weeks, over 30 staff members have tested positive, and so that has put tremendous is not even a word. It's a staggering challenge on our staffing across the board in order to serve our residents. And these 30+ staff members, some of them are actually coming back now because they have been through their 14 days, which is a really good thing, a great thing. And so far we haven't had any staff members that have gotten gravely ill. I know some of them have gotten very ill, but not gravely ill as a result of this virus. So I say that because I'm just trying to put into context that we're the tremendous burden or the tremendous challenge that this virus is posing to us. The human effect of the residents that are being affected, and then the staff members who are caring for those residents that are being affected it's hard to describe. I was down, I actually was on the COVID unit. We actually have just about half of our nursing home designated as a COVID unit right now, and special infection control guidelines in place. And so I was down there on Saturday for a good deal of time. And I've myself in my career, I've been doing this 30+ years, and I've worked on AIDS units, and I've worked on traumatic brain injury units, and I've worked on pediatric AIDS units, and I've never experienced a level of exasperation from staff members as I did on Saturday. And it's not going to get any better soon. So, please, I'm just being honest and letting all of our folks that are watching this understand the challenges, the humanness involved. I had several staff members on Saturday evening break down in tears, and me as the CEO, I want to make everything go away, right? I want to make everything right, and I'm helpless to that as well. I can't. So to those staff members, to all of the folks, all the staff members at Canterbury Woods whom are working so hard, doing 4 jobs, putting their own health aside for the residents that we serve, I'm just humbled every day at the work that we do here, and I can't thank them enough. We're going to continue to pour our heart and soul into caring for the residents, and because that's what we do, and we're going to do our best in this face of this challenge. It's going to get worse before it gets better. The numbers that are out in our community are staggering, and when you compound that with taking care of folks that are already positive for the virus, you're going to get more positivity amongst the healthy folks that are taking care of them, even with all of the infection control guidelines that we put in place. It's just a fact. We have one additional independent resident that tested positive over the weekend as well, and so that we're dealing with that. That resident's doing well. We're doing some contact tracing as a result of that, testing some other residents and staff members and so on. So again, some of the questions I get is, what about every time an independent resident tests positive, I get questions about housekeepers here and there and everywhere. And so we do go through a contact tracing protocol. If you don't hear from me or Dawn or somebody else on the independent side, then we have deemed you not to be affected. So don't, please, we have a pretty robust contact tracing process that we go through, and so far it's, at least on the independent side, it's actually worked very, very well. This positive case is here in Williamsville, and still at Gates Circle, we just have the one resident that tested positive. We actually have some, both, on the positive side of this, and of course we have to grab hold of the positive when we can. We have some independent residents who are out of kind of that 14-day window, and they're actually doing better and better and quite well. I think one of the first independent residents who tested positive has since tested negative. So how great is that? People are recovering from this. And we have several skilled nursing residents that tested positive 2+ weeks ago that will be tested this week, today, and they could very well test negative as well. So it's hard to believe that it's been over 2 weeks now since this spread has engaged us. It was actually the Friday before Thanksgiving, Thursday, Friday before Thanksgiving, where this all just kind of started to create the situation that we have now. We've had several personal care aides test positive. So, that policy that we put into place several weeks ago, where we have mandated that personal care aides, family caregivers, etc., who are non-Canterbury Woods employees who come in and take care of independent residents, that's working out. We've been able to stem and identify a few personal care aides across the board tested positive, and told them that they can't care for independent residents until they test negative again. So we did get a lot of pushback on that policy, but there was a method to that madness, knowing that we were going to get to where we are now, where the number of infections and positivity rate throughout Western New York is just sky high. The other thing to look forward to, of course, is that the FDA is meeting on Thursday of this week to give formal emergency approval of the vaccine. And so once that happens, we know through the information that we get from the New York State that the vaccine is going to start its distribution process, So we actually have an internal committee that is working on how we're going to work with whoever we get the vaccine from, whether it's Walgreens or somebody else, to administer the vaccine. We've met a couple of times. We are, we feel like we have at least a preliminary plan in place, and we're waiting on two things, right? We're waiting on when, and we're waiting on three things. When, the date, who we're going to get the vaccine from. We think it's going to be Walgreens, as they talked about. It could just be directly from the federal government. That's still up in the air. And then we're waiting on how many doses that we're going to get. So those are really the three big questions. Once we can answer those questions, then we will move fast and furious to be able to get that vaccine to people that want it. And let's hope that could be as soon, folks, as next week. And so wouldn't that be great? I will certainly, because I know everybody is really waiting for that, I will certainly keep you up to date at every one of our town halls about when and where and how on the vaccine. And because obviously we're watching that very quickly, and I will certainly keep you updated on the other challenges that we're facing from our COVID challenge. But again, keep the residents that have been affected in your thoughts and prayers, and the staff that has been affected in your thoughts and prayers as well. I thank you for that, and I'll be back here on Wednesday.